right, it's a wonderful Friday morning to you from the city of Abuja. Welcome to ACNNTV. This is another exciting edition of Now Streaming, your morning talk show where we address burning issues, celebrate good news, and discuss topics that has potentials to change your life. I am your host this morning. Korede Akitunde is my name, and I have with me in the studio this morning the Reverend FOLAYAN Michael OLUWASEGUN. He is the head government website and domains, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, Korede.
And he's also a priest in the Diocese of Igbomina. Diocese, Anglican
Pleasure
Diocese.
being here, Korede.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming this morning. Remember that you can be part of this program by calling in or sending a text or WhatsApp or joining our Facebook and YouTube page. Contact to call in is on the screen, and then you can be part of this. The rapid advancing information and communication technology has helped in addressing some social and economical problems caused by the fast growth of youth population across the world, especially in developing countries where the same ICT has been harmful in some way and also done a good thing to the Nigerian society. Today, our guest will be taking us through the topic before us and giving us answers to some of these disturbing questions and bothering us on cybercrime. And also on this segment, we'll be talking about the fight against cybercrime in our society. And let me just start that I think on Tuesday, just this Tuesday, some of these fraudsters on phone and on some made a contact across to to me to say there's a meeting of St. Matthias House staff by 7, and so
and a code will be sent
and then
to
the
you.
code of which somebody was already attacked on the platform,
Yes.
who was actually ignorant of what was happening. He already sent the code, they hijacked the WhatsApp, and so. But let me start by telling us the duties of NITDA, because it's an organization that I think possibly a lot of people are not really aware about of their functions in Nigeria. So what's NITDA all about?
Okay. You're doing this because I work for NITDA.
Yes. So we should get that clearance.
I actually work for the National Information Technology Development Agency. I'm not a full-time clergyman. I'm a non-stipendiary, and I work for NITDA, National Information Technology Development Agency. NITDA is the IT regulatory body for the country. So we regulate the ICT sector. And basically what we do is we provide regulations, we provide regulatory instruments for the ICT sector. We provide laws, we provide framework and standards upon which the ICT sector runs. I know one popular one that we have is the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation 2019. I know you have heard of that regulation. And NDPR tells you that of the need. It sensitizes you on the need for you to manage how you should manage data when it comes to data and information at your disposal. And it also provides a base for those who wants to handle individual data, what we call personally identifiable data, data that is not yours. And maybe you have an hotel or you have a premises, a work premise where people come in, they sign, they put down their information. You have the responsibility of ensuring that that information that belongs to other people in your hand are properly managed. So NDPR states how this should be done. NITDA also has the vision of making Nigeria information technology, of developing information technology in the country. So our work is to develop ICT sector. Our work is to ensure that we build capacity in area of ICT. We also help in the infrastructure development. We provide support to other sectors like education. We provide capacity building. We provide infrastructures, and we are also a research-based organization. We do research and development, R&D, and many other things. So our work is to ensure that we regulate the sector, just like you have NAFDAC, you have SON regulating their sectors. We also regulate ICT sector.
For those who don't know, what's the difference between NITSDA and NCC and NBC?
Yes, when you look at NIDA and NCC are actually two agencies of government under the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. So where the NCC regulates the communication sector, the communication sector, the GSM, the transmission, the regulated equipment, the spectrum, and so on. We provide the regulatory instrument for the sector. You know, between the communication and the information and communication, there's an overlap. That's talking about the media, and talking about the visual, visual. So that overlap is ICT itself. So ICT is sitting at an overlap between the two areas, and that's why you have it as information and communication technology. So we are both under the same parent ministry, Ministry of Digital Economy. Why NBC is regulating the radio stations, the FMs, the information.
But you know, radio and TV are also now using more of data information and a lot of...
That's where ICT now comes in. The overlap between the two of them now. That's where the ICT is.
Don't let me go into data because I have a lot of questions on that. And so, how has ICT impacted youth and our society from your own?
Thank you very much. This is a wonderful question, and this is one thing that we need to know, because when we do not have an understanding of the impact, then we will not be able to address the problems or the challenges that will come as a result of that impact. The ICT has a lot of impact on our society, and we must understand that we are in a society where growth is a daily thing. The society is growing daily. New techniques, new technology, new advances are coming day by day. And it's important for us to also ensure that we learn from everything that happens in our society every day. It has had its good impact, and it has had its negative impact also. But what I think we ought to focus more on is how we can take advantage of this impact or these things that ICT has brought to bear in our society. For example, you just cited an example of the fraudster that called you and wanted to hack you, said a code will be sent, is trying to reset your Facebook group. And he said a code will be sent to you. These are things people do. But what I expect, or what the society should expect, is that we have youth. We have youth. And because the number of youths we have is massive in the society, the young ones are there. Most of them don't have a job. And they see what the internet or what ICT offers. So there's a need for us to begin to build their capacities in this area. And let them know that there are more opportunities in what they see or what ICT offers than for them to use it to destroy. And also, we must make them to see future in it. For example, we must let people know that, look, the resources are there, but we must use those resources for good. So instead of using your skill to hack and to bring down websites and bring down infrastructures, why don't you use that, build on that skill and see how that skill can translate to a breakthrough, how that skill can translate to inventions. Great minds that invented some of these things that we do today, they saw those skills, they leverage on those skills, and we are able to get to where we are today. So there's a need for us to encourage our society today to see how those skills can be used for the betterment of the society. Be it your church, your parish, or whatever. There are youths, and they are restive. So we must begin to build capacity in those our youths. Build capacity in them, teach them ICT. Don't just assume that they know, they watch, they have it on their mobile phone. But the church itself must build capacity in them so that they will not just be responsible to themselves alone, they will also be responsible to the society, which is the church.
Okay, let me, before I even go to some of this, the church and the ICT, how has ICT aided or improved employment across the world?
Well, today you see that quite a lot of innovations are coming up. Apart from people just being providing blogging sites, providing websites, there are so many online retail stores. There are so many apps people are building today. If you've been to Google Play Store, most of the apps you see on Google Play Store, people build them. People build them. There are solutions that people are building daily. And some of these solutions is interesting because they are ways of, they have ways of paying back when you build those solutions. So today, schools have portals. Today you can stay in your house and you can make requests, buy products, and the delivery man will bring it to you. The other day I was somewhere, I traveled somewhere, and where I traveled to, it was difficult for me to get a good meal. And all I needed to do was to use my phone to place order. I placed order, and the order was delivered to me right in my hotel. That is the work of ICT. Those are impacts of ICT on the society. So today, we must understand that ICT, there are a lot of breakthrough, a lot of things that we can do with ICT. And it's only when you are sensitized, it's only when you know that that ground exists, that's when you can make maximum opportunity out of it. So there are ways of even repairing phones. You see young boys now who repair phones. They repair phones and they make good money. Some of them, they repair electronics. Some of them, even our automobile mechanics now, they use ICT. They have diagnostic tools which they use to check your car and know what the problem on the car is. These are impacts of ICT everywhere. Solutions are built daily. Automation, house automation is part of ICT. Today you can automate your home. Have devices in your home that will switch, that will respond, that you can control through the internet. You can be in your office and you can know, you can control your TV in your home, what we call Internet of Things. These are impacts of ICT.
And that brings me to an issue that came up last year. I just want to link it with the issue of church, because actually the church seems to be also a culprit in some of these things. When COVID came out and we started having this conspiracy theory of 5G and COVID. It is 5G that is causing COVID-19 and all those stuff. And then you see a Nigerian pastor here who was actually championing it. And even saying that currently they are the lockdown of Lagos and Abuja, they are running the 5G stuff. I mean, some of these issues of things that come up, what's your advice to church leaders?
Well, just like I said at the beginning, people come up with opinions. People are entitled to their opinions. And one thing about leadership is, as a leader, we must always be ready to listen and not to react until we are sure of what we have seen or what we have heard. Today, the challenge we have is that many of us will react, we take decisions on things when they have not been verified. And it could be dangerous because your followers will believe whatever you say.
Yeah.
Your followers will say, yes, Daddy has spoken. The GO has spoken. The Baba has spoken. And they take after whatever Baba has said. So there's a need for us as leaders not to react spontaneously. We must take our time. We must verify. We must be sure of what we will say before we say it, because the moment you say it, you cannot counter what you have said.
It is there.
So in that case of COVID-19 and all the conspiracy theory, what many of us did that time was to wait, watch the ground, listen to different sides, and also consult wide, so that whatever we will say, we'll be sure that we are saying the right thing. So many people talked then, and today what they are talked then, they discover is not true. So what leaders, church leaders should do is to listen more and speak less. Listen more.
And church and media and church and ICT today, what's your take? Because you still have a lot of churches, even in Anglican church, where they feel that there's the need for this online thing. I don't know, even to sponsor their programs on TV, it's not an interest. So, and that really affected a lot of churches last year when the lockdown started. And so, how can the church leverage on ICT?
Well, the truth of the matter is, ICT has come to stay. And the church is no longer that building or those people that gather in that building every Sunday to worship. The church is as many of your followers that you are able to reach on the go. There's a general, there was a research that says that your brain can only retain 10% of what you read. The brain can only retain 20% of what you hear. The brain will only retain 30% of what you see with your eyes. And the brain will retain 50% of what you hear and you see at the same time. So ICT is what you hear and see at the same time. So if as a church we do not embrace ICT and look for the quick wins in it, we will have challenges. Today, many people are there who needs God. They need God. They are hungry for the word, but they cannot be where you are. And they know there's a man of God there that can speak that word. So what is important is for us to embrace ICT. Make the gospel global. Preach. Just preach. Whether people are listening now or not, let it be up there. One day somebody will open that place and see and listen to what you have preached. And it will bless the life. It may even be that which will save the life, which will bring that person to the saving knowledge of the Lord Jesus. So the church must embrace ICT. The large population of unemployed youth that we have in the church, ICT will help them to develop when the church embraces it. Another reason why the church must embrace ICT is the fact that Nobody helps to blow your trumpet unless you blow it yourself. Nobody is going to come to your church as a reverend, as a canon, as a minister, as a bishop to see what you are doing. But you yourself can showcase what you are doing outside. And there are quite a lot of young ones who are seated every Sunday on the pews. They are just seated there. We could employ them, which we could give them a sense of belonging in the church. Let them come in, let them operate some of these audiovisual equipments that we have, and let them blow the trumpet to the world so that the world will know what happens. The world will also be able to benefit from the message of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Thank you, sir. Internet fraud now. So let's go to frauds, just like it's happening, and it's happening on daily basis. They keep increasing in different ideas. There was a time that when anybody called with strange number and showing maybe from UK or something, and say, "Hello, Correde. You don't know he's talking." Can't you? You can't guess. You can't do.
Professor Fedison.
And different ways. I mean, I know what I do tell my parents is when anybody calls you for whatever reason, please be careful. But these things comes, and a lot of people are not aware of what they need to do. People are caught unawares, and just like the incident I said happened on Tuesday, the man they hacked said they told him there's a meeting in his children's school that he needs to attend on WhatsApp, and so he was just like, oh, okay. And so what is NITSDA doing? What is the government doing? Or what can you also advise people? So let me take those three questions together.
Okay, you have asked a very important question. What are we doing? The truth of the matter is that fraud is increasing every day. Crime is on the rise. And criminals have not only resort to doing it physically. They had gone to the web. So why? Because the web now has a large concentrate of people transacting business and engaging in services. So services have gone to the internet, and the criminals also have established their empire on the internet. And so one thing we must do as a society, when I say society, I'm talking of the church, I'm talking of NIDA, I'm talking of the nation, is we must do continuous awareness. We must begin to sensitize people. We must begin to move faster even than the criminals. We must begin to let people know the various kinds, the ways in which these things come. And when they come, how do we react to them? Just before I was entering the studio, I saw a mail that came, and he said, "You have been hacked." He said, "Don't disclose to anybody this mail, because if you disclose, you're on your own." And I was wondering, hacked, how, where, when? So the threat, if you had sent that to my uncle in the village, probably, who does not know about internet, and he just saw you have been hacked, don't disclose it, he will be afraid. Because of course he cannot remember the last ATM, the last POS where he used his card. So one, we must continue to sensitize people, let people know that this is on the rise, and this is how we can curb it. And that's what we do at the National Information Technology Development Agency. So we issue what we call advice. We issue advice periodically. We tell people of things that are happening, and how this can be reported, how this how we can escape from them when they launch such attacks on us. Secondly, we also from time to time we do sensitization program, like our cybersecurity week, for example. We do cybersecurity week, cybersecurity sensitization. We also, from time to time, we engage people. We move from from one area, one geopolitical area of the country to another, sensitizing them on cybersecurity and letting people know. We also do capacity building, of course, because when people know, we teach them and they know, they will also be able to help to spread the news. We also circulate online. We make flyers online, we make banners, and we circulate them online to let people know that, look, this is not the way to go. We also encourage people to begin to use multi-factor authentication method. If somebody has multi-factor authentication method, some of these traps will be able to escape them. So it's capacity. People must begin to know, because what they do also is, these hackers and these criminals do is, they make their trials. They try. Out of every 100, they will possibly get two that will fall into the trap, and then whatever they make from those two will compensate for their labor and the effort and their phone calls that they have made. You also see that the ministry is also trying to come up with various measures to ensure that the space is regulated. Recently, we had to link our NIN with our mobile number, just to be sure that when your phone is being traced by the government, they know that it's you that made that transaction. A lot of phone calls now that people make, you will discover that the person, possibly the phone had been stolen, has been hacked, and is using that phone to make. So government is trying a lot. Government is trying to do a lot to ensure that these cyber criminals are. And of course, we also have compliance team. We have compliance team. We have teams of experts that investigate. We have collaborations with the Nigerian Police Fraud Unit, and from time to time they carry out compliance. They carry out exercises. They arrest fraudsters. And of course, on the internet, we also, because we regulate the .ng, the country code top level domain. So frauds that are perpetrated on the .ng, we also have our team that can investigate if such reports come to us. So we're doing quite a lot.
Then the other thing is, how do one recognize fake websites and domains?
Thank you very much. Basically, domains are based on, we have domains based on the country that domain originates from. Domains that are primarily allocated or assigned as per the country is called the country code top level domain. And it's often indicated by the last string on that domain. So when you have a domain ACNN .org.ng, ng is the last, ng shows that Nigeria. It's Nigeria. So if you have something like the last one being .za, ZA is South Africa. So they are called country code top level domain. We also have what we call generic top level domain. The generic one are the general one that are not peculiar to countries. So if you have something like yahoo.com, anything.com, anything.org, they are organizations, they are countries, they are not peculiar to a country, they are global. Now the good thing is, when you use a domain that is a country specific domain, it is easier for you to sort yourself out. Why? Because there are more regulations around it. There's a body that regulates it, and the body knows how to fish out the criminal when there's a problem. For example, if an organization that is using a .ng decides to put a content of ACNN on their website, it is easier for us to trace them because that domain is registered through us. So what a user of any website must do is, before you click on any link whatsoever, look at the prefix, the one before, and the suffix, to be sure that they are valid. So if somebody has a domain ACNN.xyz, what is XYZ? XYZ is not a generic, it's not a country code top level domain. So you know that that is a scam. Or it has some script dot, inside that, on that, you now put CBN dot something slash. When you now open it, you now see Central Bank of Nigeria. That is not a CBN website. So we must be conscious of this thing. When you are on the web, you need to be conscious on the internet of everything that you click, every mouse click, everything you put your hand, be conscious of it. Because when you are not conscious, they can zap your account away. When you are not conscious, they can read your phone, read the content of your phone. So you need to be conscious of every step that you make on the internet.
That's that's good, sir. Then, is there any way that NITDA helps those who are hacked to recover their things, or those who fall into scammers, maybe online retailers or whatever?
Yes, I know that the Nigerian police has fraud unit.
Okay.
We partner with them, we collaborate with the law enforcement agencies. According to the Act, NIDA Act 2007, that established the National Information Technology Development Agency. So we have various collaborations. But one thing I know about cybercrime is you need to substantiate whatever you are doing with evidences. In most cases, people do not have evidence. And when you don't have evidence, it's difficult for you to prosecute your case. So if your website is a Nigerian website and the website has been hacked, of course, if it's a .ng and the person has taken it over, there's a way we can bring down that site. We'll bring it down. But if it's not a .ng, then you might have a little challenge. It means we will have to speak with some of our technical partners where those generic top-level domain you are trying to use, where they are registered. We will need to speak to them by our existing collaborations and relationships that we have to get that. Also, let's not forget that some of these things are also traceable, because when somebody is registering for a domain, he must have used his debit card to register. The debit card has somebody who owns it, has an information. So those things can be traced. But in most cases, you discover that the person that is bringing the complaint does not even have that information to give you. He cannot give the information because he didn't even use his own debit card in the first instance, and he cannot even tell whose debit card that was used. So that's why it's always good for you to use your own card when you are transacting some of this business. The challenge some people have is they will say, if I use my card, my money can. Yes, you can have a particular card you use
for such
transactions, and whatever money you want to spend, you send it from account B to the account A where you use the card online. So ensure that you leave little or no money on that card that you use online, and by such you will minimize some of these hazards that comes with.
Thank you very much for your time on today's program, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. And we have been speaking with Reverend FOLAYAN Michael OLUWASEGUN, the head government website and domain at NITDA, and of course, he's also an Anglican clergy. Thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
This is where we draw the curtain today, viewers, and we hope that you've learned one thing today, especially on the issue of cyber fraud. We will be bringing the Reverend back some other time to still speak on some of these things as it affects a lot of our viewers. So thank you, and we want to encourage you to be law-abiding and be vigilant so that When you see something, please try and say something. If you are hacked, please cry out to the appropriate authority and do good at all times. Remember to register for your voter's card and be part of every election process. That's where we finish the now streaming for the week. Join us again next week, and we hope to bring you more exciting, trending stories next week. Thank you and stay blessed. Till we see you again next week. God bless you.